Hello, Mike. Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear you, sir. Just go ahead, sir.
What happened? What's the challenge? Is there any challenge at the back end?
Sir, we are good. We are good. Just go ahead. We are good, sir. Just go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. How are we doing today? Since we had technical glitches, please, I want to make sure that there are persons on this chat, and if you could hear me, could you please type something in the chat box so I could see it rolling? It's a beautiful Tuesday evening. Hello, I want to be sure that others are here. Are there nobody on this? Are there nobody on this call? Okay. You can hear me on here, but that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good. Okay. Good evening, everyone. It's a beautiful evening. It's a beautiful evening. So we're going to roll it, and we're going to roll it. Okay. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Um. So it's another Tuesday evening, and we're going to dive deep into learning what is really open and beside us. And what is one of those things? The beauty of life is that we can create the life we want if we decide to take the actions that will lead us there. So today there is something I would like us to look at. It's a funny concept, a very funny concept. Good evening, everyone. It's nice to have us here. Remember to share the link so we have a lot of people on this call. In that way, we're able to know that these trainings help democratize knowledge, and it's not just a fanfare. Look at it as a good utilization of resource and not just every other thing. So remember to share the link so we could have a lot of persons show up on this call, and through it they can learn a lot. So today there's something I want to share with us. An important concept, and is something that's all around us. Most of us use an iPhone, right? And today I want to look at 5 iPhone inspired sales techniques that we can learn. Because the purpose of life is to learn from who or whatever institution that is doing better than you, right? Most of us, every one of us uses an iPhone one way, or but we know when this phone was not in the market, right? But yeah, majority of the people on this call, most Gen Zs know when there was no iPhone, right? And that's it. And then older persons know when there was Nokia, but these guys, they are the undisputed king of the market. So what can we learn from them as realtors? What can we learn from them as people that are into the property sales of property business? So today we're going to x-ray 5 things that personally I have learned from the iPhone model, right? So I term them the 5 iPhone inspired sales lessons. And what is one of them is sell the lifestyle, not the land. Because iPhone does not sell a phone, they sell you the lifestyle. So you just see these 3 cameras. Even the iPhone 17 still has, they did something so that you now know it's an iPhone 17, right? And that is it. So they're not really selling a phone, they're selling a lifestyle. So if you're going to be selling land, right, what will be your advantage? You will not learn much. Your advantage is not much, right? But you see, there are other players here that sells phone, but these guys, they are selling the lifestyle. So if you're selling the land, you won't sell much. But if you sell the lifestyle, so how do I mean? Apple never sells specifications. They don't sell specifics, right? So if all you are selling is C of O, that's beautiful, right? Or selling specifications. If all you're selling is the size of the land, if all you're selling is 30 minutes away, it's 10 minutes away, it's 5 minutes away, you're selling specifications. You will sell, yes, but it's not what we have personally learned from my own personal study with studying the iPhone. You see, they never sell specifications, they sell what your life looks like with an iPhone, right? What your life looks like with an iPhone. So basically, what does that teach us? We shouldn't sell plots in Obolono, Gwashi, in Ibuzo, in Abuja, in Oka. No, those places, it's good, right? So we should sell the feeling of owning a land in a smart city before it becomes the next Lekki. We should sell the future of the feeling, the prospects, right? You should sell the feeling, the prospect, the how you will feel that you own here before here became here. That's what you should be selling. Not minding that the distance looks far, just like how Lekki was off from development, right? It was off from development when before development got there. So, so basically, that's what you should be selling: the master plan, the lifestyle that comes with it. So the job is to paint the picture. Your job is to paint the picture of the roads, the power plants, the gated communities, security light, street lights, flower, greeneries, before ever thinking of mentioning price. Not just opening your mouth and saying this land is going for 20 million, this land is going for 5 million, this land is going for no, that's not it. Then you're selling land. Remember, we had the CEO of Bukasin, and he says that never disclose value, never disclose price till value is communicated. And that is one of the things we see with sell the lifestyle, not just the land. Remember to share this with a lot of persons, and so that they could join in and learn a lot of things from these sections, right? So as beautiful as it is, the job is to paint the picture. You don't sell the product, you sell the future the client is stepping into. You don't sell the product, you sell the future the client is stepping into, right? And remember what we're dealing with: the 5 inspired lessons from where? From the iPhone. From the iPhone. 5 inspired lessons from the iPhone company, how they have been able to dominate their market, right? And one is sell the lifestyle, not the land. And and the summary of that is, don't just sell the product, sell the future the client steps into. So, and I recall telling us again that do not disclose price. Never disclose price till value is clearly communicated. The gated community, the roads, the power plants, the security, the greenery, the atmosphere, the feeling of owning it before the next Lakey arrives, the next um, smart city arrives. That is it, right? Two, they create irresistible packages. That is why every iPhone comes in different models. You've noticed it. So when they launch an iPhone 14, they're still expecting the same set of clients, as funny as it is. So we're in iPhone 17 right now. And so I'm sure there's a 17 Pro Max, there's 17 Pro, and there's the normal iPhone, right? But I know it's normally in trace tractors, right? And it's funny. So it's create irresistible packages, not just price. So Apple doesn't just sell buy a phone. No, they don't just say buy a phone. What do they offer? They offer models, just like I've talked about. They offer storage tiers. I know some have different storages, right? They offer different colors, right? And they offer and then different bundles. So so every pocket, every pocket and preference is covered. So every pocket and preference. Oh, you want the one with too much space? Correct, collect it. You want the one that is black? Collect it. You want the one that is smaller? Collect it. Right? So, so why is this important? So when you're selling a 16-month instrumental plan that we're we're about to launch, right? When you're selling a 60-month installmental plan, you're selling a 3 months installmental plan, you're selling a 6 months installmental plan, you're selling a one-time payment, right? So you don't just sell it as a payment option. That's the goal. Don't sell it as a payment option, but as a getaway. As a getaway, you sell it as a getaway, because now when they're selling these models, they're selling it to, they're making the choice and preference, the choice that can be related to the pocket. So in terms of what you can afford and the preference. So when you're presenting a 16-month installmental plan, whatever the installmental plan, don't present it as a payment option, or present it as a gateway. Okay, example, what do I mean for a gateway? Let's say, okay, the cost to fill a vehicle is around 80 to 120,000, right? In the current Nigeria, 80 to 120,000. And someone is on an instrumental payment of 50,000 per month. Now, you will now frame it in the likelihood of, oh, you are buying this product at 50 at the cost of your petrol for month. So how can it be? Okay, you can, how do I put it very clearly? Okay, you can own this for less than your monthly transportation cost. You can own this for less than your monthly petrol cost. Things like that. So you could own it for less than your food cost. You could own this for less than your monthly food cost. So you're framing it. You're framing it. So you're trying to tie it. You're trying to name it to something. Because you get what I'm trying to say? You're trying to name it to something. It's less than your petrol cost. It's less than your. So if it's a data heavy user that uses in excess of 50K per month, oh, it could also be you can own this for less than your monthly data cost, depending on the clientele, depending on the market, right? But the goal, it can, gym subscription is less than, it's almost, I know a lot of gyms that do 160, right? Which is monthly subscription. And then you can own this for less than your monthly gym subscription cost. So, but the goal here is to name something that you're tying it to, name it, tie it. So you make it feel like a choice, not a cost. The goal is to reframe it and make it look like a cost. A choice, not a cost. So he said, oh, I normally spend this amount of money on petrol. And then I normally spend this amount of money on gym, but I can convert these and own assets that can pay me for life. Right? So they create irresistible packages, irresistible packages. So your goal is to create an irresistible package within the framework of what you're working with. People don't resist buying. They resist feeling like they can't afford it. Right? People don't resist buying. But they want to resist the feeling that they cannot what? Afford it. And there's another thing they do. So number 3 of what we're looking at is protect, because I want us to discuss this. So we'll have a lot of time to go back and forth. So they say protect the premium. They never discount the brand. iPhone. I don't know when you've seen an iPhone company say, oh, we're doing flash sale. You will never see that. You will never. So iPhone 18 cannot come out, and in 2 months, the iPhone company is declaring flash sale for iPhone 18. It's not going to be done. It is not going to be done because we know they have not done that for the past, from their iPhone 1 to where they are now currently, right? So protect the premium, never discount the brand. That's what they do. So what does Apple do? Apple almost never does flash sales. They almost never do any flash sale or heavy discounts. Their price signals quality. I always remember this conversation with my dad over something quite funny and basic. And I told him, oh, I got this at XYZ price, and I told him I got something else at XYZ price. So this was higher than this, right? And then, but they were just the same commodity, right? Okay, maybe this could be, maybe it just, but it wasn't a book. I can't remember what it is, but it was just like two things like that. You get, so the same things, but maybe different brand. And I told him this was higher in price than this. And subconsciously, his mind was already telling him, he was not telling me that this is more superior than this. Now, that's one game we know. But in production, when you're in the planning of production, we know that price is a statement of quality. Yes, we know. But we also know, and that is one of the reasons that iPhone uses to protect the brand. And they don't do flash sales. They don't do it. They don't. It keeps the brand. So now Apple almost. Hello, can you hear me, please? Am I still audible enough? Hello, if you can hear me, please. Can you still hear me, please? If you could still hear me, I would like to be sure that I can be clearly heard. I noticed I went off. Okay, correct. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. So we're talking about protecting the premium, right? Never discount the brand. Apple almost never does flash sales or heavy discounts. Their price signals quality. Their price signifies quality. It gives you this subconscious signal. Oh, it's a better phone. And funny enough, we leave it at that, right? So discounting would always damage the perception of the product. Discounting would always damage the perception of the product. Always. So don't slash prices to close. Don't slash prices to close. Instead, what you do is to add more value, add more offering. Okay, or we can't go below this price, but what we can do is that we could offer you a free site visit, we could offer you a free documentation, we could offer you, what's it called? Free site visit, we could restructure your payment modalities, right? We could give you priority price selection, things like that. Flexible payment restructuring, things like that. But don't slides, don't slash prices to close. Don't slash prices to close. Don't slash prices to close. It doesn't. So a desperate discount. See what a desperate discount. Discounts are good, yes, because the Nigerian buyer wants to feel like it's cheating you, according to Aki Alabi in How to Sell to Nigerians, right? You see, a desperate discount kills trust. Why a confident price builds it. Thank you. A desperate discount will kill trust. Why what? A confident price will build it. So if you're not to be giving you're not to be slashing discounts in land when you're dealing on lands, right? When you're building a brand, you're picking from what iPhone is doing, right? Because land value is actually tied to estate vision, is tied to master plan, and we see it everywhere. So let me show you something. When you go to places like Eco Atlantic, they have been building it for the past 20 years. And when you go there, yeah, you will see good roads, but those roads, do they commensurate to the price that they're asking for? No, it doesn't, right? You see good roads within the estate, but the vision of the estate, the vision of the Eco Atlantic, the vision of it is what is driving the price. Right. So there's another place we know of as our waterfront city. The price is in hundreds of millions, and they don't discount the price. They don't slash it. Why? Because the price is directly linked to the vision of the estate. And so that's it. So land value is tied to estate vision, is tied to master plan. So let's say you're buying the land from the state, master plan for that area. And the master plan for the area is premium mass housing, and they have another area for affordable mass housing. Where do you think that the state government will sell the lands at a higher price to you, despite you only want to develop a premium housing, a luxury housing outfit, a luxury housing estate, or if you're also going to develop the affordable housing scheme? We know the answer, right? So that tells you that land value is tied to vision, is tied to what? It's tied to master plan. Don't forget that. Don't forget that. So prices are not to be slashed at fanfare. So I've talked about three things now. We say sell the lifestyle, not the land. Create irresistible packages. Create irresistible packages. Where we talked about people don't resist buying, they resist feeling like they can't afford it. That you should tie the you should name it that so it looks they make it feel like a choice, not a cost. So they're foregoing this because these have a higher upside for them, right? Whereby it could be their gym subscription, it could be their petrol, it could be less than their monthly petrol prices, or what they spend on monthly, less what they spend monthly on petrol. It could be food, it could be transport, it could be gym, it could whatever it is, just tie it to something, right? Tie it, right? Try and tie it to something. And that's what we're saying. And then the third one, we talked about protect the premium, never discount the price. And we talked about how Eco Atlantic has been developing for the past more than 20 years, right? And the price doesn't commensurate the development on ground, but the price commensurate with the vision of the place, right? So another thing is the fourth one is launch like it's an event, not a transaction. The transaction is a TX. Yes, I normally write transaction as TX, right? But people don't look for transactions. People look for transformation. TX is like a mathematical calculation for me, right? But transformation, I can't even write a TF. So if the product is likely to transform my life, I'm going to go shopping for it. That is why you sell lifestyle from the beginning. But if I see a product as a transaction, there's no transformation that the product is going to bring into me. I'm going to be docile about taking action. I'm not going to be motivated. The same for me, I think, is the same for majority of the buyers out there, and that's what we miss. Okay, so launch it like it's an event. So there's a new product offering, you launch it like it's an event. So when we want to launch an estate, we go there. So we're going to learn to put more fanfares in estate launches, right? And then we could do more fanfare, more haha around it, because well, it's becoming an event. So you say Apple turns product release into cultural moment. That's what Apple does. People queue, people talk, and people feel like they will miss out, and they will have all this long queue. Come on, for a product that is mass produced, that if there is an order for 1 million units, it will be produced. It's not limited, but people queue. So, because they're trying to turn it into a cultural moment, right? People feel that they will miss out. So, how do we work on this? So, you treat every client conversation like it's an exclusive launch window. It's exclusive. There's an exclusivity around it. Use scarcity, use urgency, but, but most importantly, use excitement, not desperation. I will say it. Use scarcity, use urgency, use excitement, but most importantly, no desperation. Most importantly, show excitement, right? Because selling is a transfer of emotions. And in the urgency, in the scarcity, the excitement is the emotion. So you practically you're selling emotion. Yeah? So your pitch should feel like an invitation to something big, not a plea to buy something valuable. No, you're not pleading with them to buy something valuable. What are you doing? You're inviting them to become part of something big. We had our last speaker from Cameroon, Dr. Pastor David, right? He said that he started out by having clear obsession to make people money. To say that he's making money for the vendor, right? Or he's making back money for that for the agent, or he's making money for the client. That he just started out. He's just obsessed about making people money. So here, let it be that you're inviting them to come. Have that feeling here. That's what he is saying. Your pitch should feel like an invitation to something big, not a plea to buy something available, not to a plea to buy something valuable, right? And then the fifth one, which is where we are drawing the curtain, is build loyal evangelist. Apple builds loyal evangelist, not one-time buyers. Loyal. They focus on loyalty over everything. That's what I've known about the phone. I bought it one time and I've ended up I think I'm buying it a second time. Right? And but I know some of my friends that persons that I know that have in the last 5 or 8 phones it has been Apple. Right? So so what I've learned from Apple, this is my own personal research. Apple's biggest salespeople are its customers. That's the biggest. You hear persons arguing Apple is the best, this. He doesn't own a single Apple share. He has never been to Apple, to the HQ. No, but when you see him talking about Apple and what Apple can do, you would think that the company was founded by his great grandfather. You get the point, right? So Apple biggest salespeople are its customers. Every iPhone user is mostly a walking billboard. With just very slight few persons that are not walking billboards like that for them, right? Some persons that are indifferent about the product, but majority of their client base, 70%, are what? Walking billboards. So what does that mean? What that means is airlines should we should learn to close sale immediately and activate the client as referral engine. You should close the sale immediately. Once you close the sale immediately, what is the goal? The goal here is to immediately activate the client as a referral engine, to activate the client as your walking billboard, to activate the client as your ambassador. That is your job. That is your job, right? A satisfied subscriber, what happens with it? What happens with the satisfied subscriber, right? What happens? Okay. Thank you, Mike. Okay, that's good. Thank you, Mike. I got your message. Thank you. Okay, so we're talking about the fifth thing Apple does, and we say they build loyal evangelists, not one-time buyers. And that 80 to 70% of most iPhone users will argue on the side of what? Of Apple. Almost always. So what I should do, and I just had an Eureka moment just before I came on this call, right? And there's a product I want to sell to one of I want to sell this product and I said, okay, should I talk to old time clients or potential clients, people that I'm not bought? And you know what I did? And I said, okay, let me use the law of someone that has bought, it's easier to buy. And when I spoke with this person was looking for exactly what I had in the market. It's funny, right? And because they have bought more than 5 different estates from me, it became a walkthrough. So what I'm trying to say is this: allies should focus on sell. The focus should be once you close a sale, the focus is how do I convert this person to a walking billboard? And once someone needs something within a locale, within this locale where you have influence, you have products, you have territorial control, you are the one that you are the one they call, right? So a satisfied subscriber on whatever plan, a satisfied person that you have delivered their land, that's taking possession of their land, will tell 2 friends more than any flyer. I was in the office, was it 3 weeks ago? A client walked in with someone that he has bought up to 3 of our estates, and he walked in with a client to go for an inspection. I was like, wow, this is a done deal. And truly, the client ended up making his initial deposit. That's the new client that came with his friend and has purchased from us. And that's how it should be. So the sooner you focus on those clients you have delivered their product to, focus on them being a walking billboard. That's the way you win. That's the way you win. That's the way you win. So when such happens, find a way to reward it. Find a way to celebrate it. Find a way to reward it. Find a way to celebrate it. Make the clients feel that they are the part of whatever movement you are building. If it's the smart city movement, let them know. If it's the Lateran movement, let them know. Don't corner the whole whatever that comes to you. No, let them have a feeling of it. Okay, and so, and most importantly, the best advert is a happy client that believes they bought in early. That's the best advert in land transactions, right? In land transactions, is the client. The best advert is that client that is happy that he bought in early before the masses came, before the development came, before the implementation of the master plan, before the roads came, before the green areas, before. That's it. So those are the 5 things I want you to look at. One, I want to go over it. If you remember it, I want us to type it in the chat box, right? I want to be sure that we are following up, because this is important. As simple as it is important and is critical for who we become as a person. So sell the lifestyle, not just the land. Number 2, create irresistible packages, right? Number three, we talked about protect the premium, never discount the brand, where I talked about perceptions of two different things that could be the same thing, maybe the same tin of milk, and one is selling for XYZ, and the other one is selling Lex XYZ. And then you think the one that is selling for XYZ is far superior. And funny, they could be producing the same factory and just have different, right? If you build loyal, in, launch a new product, launch it like an event. Don't launch it like a TX, right? Don't launch it like a transaction, right? Because people buy transformation, they don't buy TX, they don't buy transaction, they buy transformation. And it's when you launch things as an event, they're able to see the transformation. That is why, how did we pick that from Apple? It says that every Apple product release is turned into a cultural movement. It's always turned into a cultural movement. So you could go back on YouTube this night, watch their videos of their launches, and you'll see how it looks like a cultural movement. So treat every client conversation like an exclusive launch window, whereby you're using scarcity, you're using urgency, but most importantly, you're using excitement, because we remember reminding us that selling is about transfer of emotions. It's about transfer of emotions. And if it's transfer of emotions, the most critical aspect of it is that excitement. And that is why they create that kind of cultural movement around the launches. And so, how do you do that? Your pitch should feel like an invitation to something big, not a plea for the person to buy something available. Or no. The iPhone is always available, but when they do launches, they have very long line. It's a mass product, it's a mass produced product. It can be mass produced. And that is it. So that brings us to the end of today's class. But I want to be sure that we followed. I don't know how many of us are still on this call. I know we had a network break and or a network breach, and a lot of us were not able to hear me for quite a while. So welcome everyone. It's nice to have us here. Praise Onyebuchi, Christian, Kurt, Bigley, okay, from Bini, okay, Leg, okay, that's good. Chupulo Zil. Okay, welcome everyone, and Charity. It's nice, and a host of others that didn't have, I can't see their name in the chat box. Did we pick anything from this section? And did we learn something? What did we pick from here? Did anyone pick something that is implementable? How Apple is quietly clean, how Apple quietly in the last decade cleaned up, it's like a sizable chunk of the market share, right? They dethrone Nokia, and these are my 5 inspired sales script from them. Why someone may say their product, yes, you could say their product. One for Chinedu, welcome on board. You could say it's their product, but always I want to remind you that the iPhone is produced in, most of the iPhones you use is produced in the same factory or from the same contractor that produces most of the other phones, like the Technos and even, and some of the screen that is used in the iPhone is bought from from Samsung, right? So that tells you that they're in the branded game, and so they must know what they're doing. So there are good people to study in terms of how they sell. And if we are to learn the game, we must study the best. Okay. Welcome everyone. Welcome everyone. Did anybody pick something? What did we pick from the lectures? Because the beauty of learning is that nobody can take it away from you. And when you learn, what happens is your ability to you now have clear direction to walk, and then you can walk the path, and from that walking you can lead to a life of abundance. Okay, that Chris says, sell the lifestyle and not the land, create irresistible packages, protect the premium, don't discount the price, right? Yeah, where we talked about disparate discount skills trust, why a confident price builds it, right? Launch a new product like an event, not like a TX. Yeah. Although my TX is TX, right? Not like a transaction. Be a loyal, okay, build a loyal evangelist, not one-time buyers, right? It's not be, it's build royal evangelist, where you are building, like we have preachers. That's where I got that evangelist from. Build royal evangelist. When one person has bought from you, then you find a way to make the person a chain of referral network. So when he brings something, he brings a client to you, you must find a way to reward him. And in that way, you are building a clique of a bunch of loyal evangelists. So it's a beautiful one. And to end our meeting, I'll be telling us that next week, Saturday, we're doing two things on Saturday. We're having a master class. We're launching a product, which is a product we're using to give back to the society, whereby you can buy land for 5 years while paying small for it. And that's beautiful, that even when they make 30% of payment, they're entitled to allocation. And so we're doing a little event, but most importantly, we're doing a masterclass training. And in that masterclass, we have speakers. I'll be speaking. I would have we'll have the Mike. If you could put the flyer on the screen, it would be nice. And we have 9 guests from Port Harcourt, one of the top selling realtors in Port Harcourt. She will be coming to show us, oh, how did a little girl become a solid salesperson, because we know what is possible for one, right? It's possible for all. And then we'll be rewarding sales champions for the past fiscal year that have been able to do well. We'll also unveil our new incentive list for this new for this fiscal year that started in April. So it is beautiful to be there. Why I say you will be there, it's I remember one of our airlines that would, a lot of them would always travel and come and spend some days. We normally do the master class 2 times, I think 2 times a year, and 2 days. And they would come, lodge in a hotel, attend the program, and at the end of the day, their sales career started. And they've been closing sales back to back. So why I'm saying that is, come and celebrate with champions, right? As they receive their gifts, come and listen to industry experts so that have been able to find their way and been able to crack the law of selling and being able to sell to persons, not just audio sales, but real sales. And then share testimonies and see people that also go home with gifts. And you could be one of them the next time if you're not one of them today. And it's going to be on Saturday, and it's going to be by 10 o'clock, right? It's starting by 10 o'clock dot. We're going to run it all through. God helping us, by 4 we are done. Of course, you will have food to eat, but most importantly, you will have food for your mind that will power you to, you may win the next big incentive, right? And who knows, you could also be on your way to Doha. So I would invite you, come with your friends, come invite as much persons as you can, but please don't come late so you don't sit outside. Don't come late so you don't sit outside. The beauty of learning is that no one can take it away from you, but you must learn in comfort. So if you're late and you are outside, you won't learn in comfort and you will not be able to learn all. So it's a beautiful evening. I've enjoyed sharing these 5 principles with us, or five, how will I say, my 5 takeaways from the Apple empire in terms of selling. So what will you do with it? It is up to you to take the step and walk the path, and you can make victory. So thank you, everyone, and let's have a beautiful evening. Thank you so much. Bye bye.